Hi, Jeff here from GCD Property and welcome to another edition of Top Tips Tuesday. So this week's conversation or tip is around those considering going through new construction. And it's really come about, I've had a few conversations lately with clients looking at construction and comparing retail builders to wholesale builders, and there is a very big difference. And really important that we get that right, especially if you're new to new home building. There's a lot of things you've really got to be aware of. So today's tips is to help you navigate that process. So on the left there we have a wholesale builder. So generally the wholesale builders that I work with have what's called a turnkey fixed price contract with everything included. There's a lot of different variations what some builders will class as turnkey fixed price. I consider that a built home, so a brand new home, driveways, landscaping, fences, letterbox, clothesline, everything you need essentially to move into your home yourself or put a tenant in place. So that's a turnkey fixed price quote. With a retail builder, generally they'll have a base price, which initially seems very low, very appealing. But when you start looking at the detail of what's included, there's a lot of, generally speaking, there's a lot of items that are generally missing from that. And it's really important when you're comparing like with like to make sure that you're actually comparing the same sort of finishes and level of inclusion. So generally, the retail builders will start out for the base price and they'll start adding on those extra things, and they can be quite costly. And if you're new to building, they can really catch you out. So it's really important to ask those questions to that builder that you're considering. What other costs do we need to allow for? What's actually included? Because when you start looking at the fine print, there's quite often a lot of things that are not included in that price. Financing is really important. So generally with a wholesale builder, because you are getting a turnkey fixed price contract, it's very easy for your finance specialist to get finance approved, and you know that that loan amount is going to cover the home, driveways, landscaping, everything you need to move into that home. Generally with a retail builder, they'll give you a quote and it will be different levels of finishes, and then you start adding those extras. And now you need to have a finished price, because when you go to that lender and your lending specialist applies for that loan, they'll only approve the loan for what's in the contract. And there can be quite often large differences if you start having to add in driveways, landscaping, fences, things like that. So again, just ask, devil's in the detail, ask those questions, and you need to be really aware of what those costs are going to be. The next point is with a wholesale builder, because they're organising all the sub-trades, they're responsible for everyone that enters that property on site until it's handed over. So there's an issue with the painter, the electrician, the concreter. It's the builder's responsibility, because it's their sub-trades that they're employing, to coordinate that and make sure that any of those issues are resolved. So it's a much simpler process. If you're going through a retail builder and you're needing to organise those other sub-trades, then there can be a little bit of a conflict there. You've got to coordinate those trades working with the builder in terms of time frames and who's responsible for the works that are going on, any damage in place. So there's a bit more time involved in coordinating those other trades. Disputes, so no building construction process is ever 100% perfect. I've gone through lots of new construction myself over the years, and there's always little things that need to get rectified. So disputes are a big thing. Again, if you've got some, really important that you have someone on your side, so an experienced consultant that's had experience building and understands the project and can keep an oversight and oversee the actual builder. So really important. If you're going to a builder and you're only one client of 50 or 100 of those builds that are going on at any one time, haven't got as much negotiating power. So it's important to have someone independent that's checking the contract initially, making sure that everything's included, what is actually missing, how much do we need to allow for that, get those fixed prices up front before we sign a contract. Quite often with a lot of the builders, they'll get you to pay initial deposit, and then you don't actually get the finished price till you actually start going through, and you've already engaged them, and by that stage it's really too late. So get all those fixed costs, turnkey fixed price up front before you sign the build contract. And again, have a specialist on your side that can help navigate the process. So it's a great experience, built many times for clients over the years, and the result is very rewarding at the end, but there's a lot of little things you really need to get up front right. So hope that's helped for everyone considering construction. The majority of builders are doing the right thing, and they just want to get the property handed over. But really, as I said, the devil's in the details, so making sure that all that detail is in that building contract. So hope that's helped, and see you next Tuesday.